guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an article titled, I was a carousel rider in college and I'm glad. Now let's just say she doesn't use the word carousel rider or the term carousel rider. She uses a different word beginning with an S and ending with a T. You guys can see when you click on the link, but I can't say that here, as you can imagine. But yes, guys, this article is all about this woman. She's in her 40s now, and she's reflecting back on her college days. And she's going to go through this whole article telling you all about how she was in college. And I want you to think typical carousel rider times 100. And I'm not exaggerating here, okay? And she's going to go through this whole thing, get into a lot of details here of college, what it was like, why she did what she did. But now, as you can imagine, now she's happy, no regrets. She has some guy, like typically what happens, right? And it's reflecting on this. Now, I'm doing this, guys, for a number of reasons. Number one, the obvious, to show you just how warped things have gotten out there in our society. Thanks to the feminist movement and the S-word revolution, encouraging women to go do everything that every guy can do, no joke, this is what you get. Now, does this mean that every gal out there is going to behave like her? Well, I certainly hope not. And I would say probably no. But a lot in varying degrees do. So for a lot of you guys that watch this, that are relationship guys, that one day want to get married, and you know my opinion on that, but you want to do. The idea that you guys are going to find yourselves a pure virgin that's never had any experience, good freaking luck. Okay, not in today's world, okay? And you might think, oh, I'll get myself a religious girl. Well, again, good luck, because you're going to see here, this girl was raised in this ultra strict religious household. So the second she got freedom, she went buck wild, times 100, okay? And believe me, I've known plenty of religious girls, and the second they had any freedom, let me tell you. Another reason is, I have these notes here, and I wrote so fast I can barely read it. But the point is, getting to it is just how warped things have gotten. And again, if you're going to do marriage and relationships, be aware of what's out there. It's unbelievable. Anyhow, guys, I'm going to get into this article, and I got to speak in a lot of code here because there's a lot of words that aren't exactly YouTube friendly, and this is a good one, so I don't want the article taken down or flagged. So, starts off, I was that college girl who slept around. You know who she was. I had steady boyfriends for brief periods of time. She says steady boyfriends ... for brief periods of time. I'm sure, like 2 days? A weekend? I don't remember my number, but it's something about 20. What, 20,000? There's no way it's 20. If she can't remember her number, that tells you everything. It ain't 20. My BJ number, oh God. So high, I don't remember. And F you if you are SLUT shaming me right now. I had a blast. My only regret, the two friends I didn't hook up with, who I'm still close to. We laugh about it. I've always thought we would bang. I said to one of them once, quoting our favorite TV show, same with me, girl. Said, same with me. Well, I have no idea what show that is. So her only regret is the two dudes she's friends with, she didn't hook up with. Guys, if you got a gal, or anybody for that matter, that has to hook up with everybody, there's something wrong with you, okay? Seriously, okay? And it can go both ways. And with the case of the girl, oftentimes just being raised in some crazy, strict religious household, and they get the freedom, and they go buck wild, or they got daddy issues, or they're just simply other things going on there, So just be aware of this. And if you are, by the way, if you're a parent watching this, and you think that if you just keep your kids locked up and are in a super strict household, that you're going to keep them away from all the ugly things in the world, I got news for you. You may get this, so be careful. I've known some people that were raised in super ultra strict households, and I knew one dude who got into drugs in high school, and I think right out of high school in his first year of college, he OD'd. Okay, this was a super strict religious household he was in, because it was just the constraints were too much. Another girl I knew who grew up in a religious household, smoking hot, went buck wild and was into the drugs, rehab, all that. I don't know what happened to her later on, but it just goes on and on. It isn't just the S word, it's also drugs too, but a lot of them go hand in hand. Anyhow, this is the truth. I lived in a dorm for freak kids. We were the kids who didn't fit in high school. The drama kids, the art kids, the GAY kids, and lesbians and weirdos. So miracles, no one SLUT shamed me. Is it any surprise that she was what she described as the weird kid in high school? You know those kids that just simply, they weren't getting attention, so they eventually had to start dressing like goths, or dressing weird, dressing different. People were like, what's weird, SSM? Okay, different than the norm. Dressing in ways to get a lot of attention on them. Behaving in ways to get a lot of attention. Those drama kids were definitely weird. So is it a surprise that she's one of those that ends up in a dorm full of those types? She says, most people knew that I slept with a lot of people. Most people didn't care. In fact, we used to play a game, name 2 people in our dorm and connect them based on who'd they'd effed. Sort of like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, but with you-know-what. We always joked that if you could connect with a certain guy, you were home free since he slept with everyone. We were very sex positive. Doesn't that sound a little warped to you? Okay, the fact that everybody in there was like that seriously. And believe me, I'm not a Puritan, not by any means, but that's a bit excessive. But welcome to today's world. She says, I did it all. Well, you did everyone. I was such a SLUT, I pulled 4 V cards. 4. Once when I was dating someone I didn't want to cheat on, I sneaked into his bathroom and used soap to scrawl, too bad I can't F you on his mirror. And then I ducked out. This girl is messed up. I've known girls like this, and I was like, I wouldn't touch it with a 100-meter pole. We had a birthday party that turned into an orgy, multiple people making out and switching partners. I had multiple 3-ways with 2 guys and got wildly pissed when they didn't inform that one dude was engaged. Those bastards. I still feel guilty about that. Sure. Remember the movie Clerks? Remember when Dante Hicks yells, try not to suck any you-know-what on your way through the parking lot? That girl was me. Oh yeah, she sounds like a great one to have as your girlfriend. A great one to settle. She's married, by the way, and you're going to see more in the end here about that. Who the hell would get with that girl? Unless the guy was into this lifestyle and obviously knew her at the time. And never in a million years, in my opinion, could you trust someone like this. Because how the heck can, after so much relations, can they actually really connect on a deep basis with someone? Because plenty of studies have been done about pair bonding. Anyhow. She was the Clerks girl. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, watch the movie Clerks. There's this scene. You'll see what I'm talking about. She said, I had one-night stands. I had boyfriends who lasted, and boyfriends I cheated on. And then she says in parentheses, but he was cheating on me too, so turnabout's fair play. Once I slept with my resident hall advisor, who was totally off limits. He effed me in the art school classroom while I banged my shoulder against a pencil sharpener. I was a SLUT, and I loved it. I'm not making this up, guys. If you don't believe me, click on the link in the description. You can see this article. I'm glad I was a SLUT. Miraculously, I never caught an STD, and I never got pregnant. Well, that actually is a miracle. I was meticulous about asking who's been tested and obsessed with birth control. I spent 5 years, and she says in parentheses, I'm counting my first year of graduate school, having oodles of consequence-free, amazing sex. This is the same girl in the beginning who says, I don't know how many, I can't put a number on it. And then she said, I think it was like 20. And then she says, I have countless amount of BJs. Believe me, it was more than 20 people. Maybe more times, add a few zeros behind that there. I wore Catholic school uniforms. I used toys. I got tied down. I banged friends and strangers and almost effed an English dude. Damn it, I should have effed the English dude. I never did bone an uncut guy. Well, I guess she's going to have to take a trip to London now and get that out of her system and have her very understanding husband just allow it. And I'm happy with all the sex. I grew up in a repressed Catholic home. Now we're getting somewhere. Sex was evil. Sex was bad. Sex would send you straight to hell. But God forbid anyone tell you more than that. Our sex ed, this is how babies are made, and don't you dare until you're married. My parents left that part up to school. Even when they had to know I was banging guys, they never once mentioned it. When I escaped that misery, I was ready to SLUT it up. And smart enough to protect myself. And I sought out non-judgmental friends who were either having as much sex as I did or wanted to have as much sex as I did. No one called me an SLUT. No one shamed me for it. They showed up at the next naked party instead. Or they banged my ex-boyfriend. I want to know what school this was. I want to know what dorm this was. I have this picture in my mind that nobody's actually doing anything except having this big giant party of naked people. I mean, I can't imagine the household she grew up in, how ultra strict and confined and all that she went this wild, right? But again, today's world. And so when I said in the beginning, guys, for you guys that want to do relationships, not that every gal's like this by any means, but nowadays, if you're the idea that you're going to get yourself a virgin, good freaking luck. Not a chance in hell. I mean, look at the generation now, the teens and 20s who are just obsessed with broadcasting their lives on social media, showing pictures of themselves in all sorts of interesting positions and minimal clothing. The ones that go on to OnlyFans and all that. Do you think these girls are pure? Do you think you're going to get in today's world? Good luck. Sure, there are exceptions, but come on here. And people wonder why so many guys don't want to get married. I mean, who's going to want to get married down the road when every girl they go out with was showing their stuff on, showing their legs, their butts, their boobs, whatever you would call it, on social media, maybe some on OnlyFans. They don't want that. They don't want to have a family in one day, because it's out there. Once you put it out there, it is out there one way or another. Have that to come back and haunt them, embarrass them. Hell, even the kids may see it. You see what I mean here? More and more guys are going to be like, nope. And of course, the guys will be shamed because they aren't understanding or aren't open-minded enough for some line of bullshit like that. She goes on, 2 decades later, I'm monogamous and happy. I settled down just after my SLUT days, when I met my husband in my second year of graduate school. Second year of graduate school, huh? 2 decades of monogamous and never cheated. Sure. We've been together ever since, and I've never cheated on him. Really? All that sex made me really, really good in bed. He's told me so. Well, I would imagine after all that practice, one would have to be pretty darn good and have a lot of knowledge there. So, okay, there's her silver lining. That's the silver lining for the guy. But mostly, I miss being young. I don't miss being an SLUT so much as I miss that time in my life, when I was free to do what I wanted, when I sat in our dorm hallway and tried to connect two people via who they slept with. This girl's got problems. I mean, come on here. It's one thing to be open-minded and all that, but no, this girl has definitely got mental and emotional issues here. The sleeping around, the newness, that was only part of being young, not an end to itself. Yeah, I was a SLUT, but mostly I was 19, 20, and in love with the world's possibilities. Well, there are a lot of other possibilities in the world than hooking up with every single dude in your dorm and his brother and best friend and neighbor and father and uncle and cousin, and I can go on here. I'm happy now. I'm settled and in love with being in love. I have an amazing partner who knows me inside and out, not fleeting encounters. Well, there's probably about 2,000 other dudes in this world that know you inside and out. Everyone's right. The sex gets better with every time. There's a joy in being settled, a happiness in those smooth rhythms of marriage. There's still passion there, but of a different sort. A leap when he walks in from work. A joy when he picks that perfect present. A beauty in his deep desire to understand me. Being at SLUT, those encounters were fun, but that fun faded fast. So I jumped onto the next pretty boy. I needed the next high. Right there, what she said here. I needed the next high. That's what it was. I laugh about it now. I'm glad I experienced it. I liked it when it lasted. I love being young, and that was part of it. But I love being 40-something more. I stand in gratitude for both. I think that's how it should be. Well, at the end of the day, it is what it is. But something tells me a lot of people have to write articles and talk about and justify their past and how happy they are and present that to the world. They're usually actually pretty unhappy, because people that actually are happy don't have to go around telling people how happy they are and things like that, how I don't regret my choices. because deep down, a lot of people that say that actually really do regret their choices. But nowadays, there's no such thing as accountability. It's a lot easier to say, I don't regret what I did. I mean, how many people have you met that, yeah, they may have a worthless degree in gender studies or women's studies and $100,000 in debt from student loans, but I'm glad I made that choice. Or somebody has no savings, no money whatsoever, and tens of thousands of dollars in credit card debt because they were just pissing away at living for the moment. And they say, I have no regrets. I did what I did, because I could die at any moment, and I have no regrets, even though I have all this debt. Yeah, sure. So, but anyhow, guys, I thought it'd be an interesting article to cover. One of you guys sent this to me. I apologize. I didn't write down who it was, but shout out to you. You know who you are, sent me this article. But like I said in the beginning, guys, this is today's world. You just never know. This is how warped things have gotten. Okay, and she's in her 40s, so this shit was going on 2 decades ago. It's even worse now, as you all know. So for, again, you relationship guys out there want to do marriage and all that, be aware of who you may be getting involved with. You may definitely want to do a little detective work before you actually get really serious about whatever gal you want to get serious with. No joke here. But anyhow, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And also, guys, if you ever come across a really great article like this or any other ones that you'd like me to cover in a future video, by all means, email it to me. I can't say I'll get to it, that day or that week, but if it's a good one, I'll definitely tuck it away and have it at a different time. And also, if you come up with any really crazy type of stories or good personal stories, things you've gone through, things you've overcome, again, email it to me as well. And last, I announced last week that I started a brand new channel, which is titled They Did What, which is a channel dedicated 100% to the craziest stories out there. Crazy stories kind of like what ones I go over here, as other types of crazy stories that I don't normally do. And it's off to a great start. So if you guys haven't checked that out, by all means, click on the link below. It's either in the comment section or in the description. Give it a shot and come on by and subscribe. I think you'll like what I'm doing there. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.